Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's ALISHA and I post a bunch of lifestyle vlogs and social media tips here on YouTube and across my other platforms at ALISHA J. Henderson. But today's video is very highly requested and just kind of a life update, kind of talking to you guys about what's going on with our wedding. Like, are we getting married? Where are we getting married? What are we doing? Like, what is going on? So I'm going to kind of go over like a brief overview of what we're doing, and then I asked you guys if you had any questions and I'm going to answer those at the end, and some of them are really good, so stay tuned for that. But right now let's jump into the story of what the heck we're doing. So in this video I just want to be completely honest with you guys and give you guys the rundown and let you guys know what's up, what's going on. So here we are. So a little backstory. My fiance Garrett and I, we got engaged in Stowe, Vermont at like the most beautiful waterfall in November 2020. So it's been a little bit, and we initially wanted to get married in Massachusetts because a lot of our friends, a lot of Garrett's parents and family are there. I have an extremely small family. We were kind of planning on doing that, but with COVID and everything, it was so difficult to plan around, and so many of the weddings in 2020 got postponed to 2021, where the wedding venues were so expensive. So many of them were booked up already, where it was really hard to find a venue, and then we weren't even sure like if we wanted to have a venue, if we wanted to do something really small, if we wanted to do something in my parents' backyard, since they had just moved to Georgia like at the beginning of 2021. There was a lot of things up in the air, and we kind of just decided to wait it out a little bit. We were in the process of deciding on where we wanted to move, because we were living in Massachusetts for just over a year together in an apartment, and we were deciding like what we wanted to do, and we were focusing more on the move and just getting ourselves into the right situation for us. So that's kind of why we initially didn't get married in 2021. So now we're here. It's 2022 and we have officially set a date, which we're gonna keep a secret for now. Don't worry, you guys will know. I'll probably announce like on my Instagram, so you can go see like the behind the scenes and the updates there, because we're actually not having a wedding. We're not doing a big ceremony and venue. We decided to do something much smaller, more of an intimate wedding and elopement. So, so basically we started looking at venues here in Georgia. We initially were like, wow, like the venues were a lot cheaper. We were like, we could have a wedding like summertime in 2022, because that's when we wanted to get married, and that is when we're gonna get married. So little update there, but we started looking at the venues, and a lot of them were a lot cheaper here rather than New England, and we're like, all right, well, maybe we could do this. We even took you guys along for a venue, and that was probably the one. If I had to pick one, that's probably where we would have gone. But we started doing like some of the calculations and like just planning it, because my parents were generous enough to give us a budget for a wedding, but weddings are expensive and that budget didn't cover everything, and it was a big chunk of money. And my parents were like, you can have a wedding or you can do whatever you want with that money, but this is your wedding budget, congratulations. You know, that kind of thing. And so we started to almost go through the process of going with that venue and photographers and videographers and florals and all of that, and it was just overwhelming. Like, it just did not sit right with me or my fiance. Like, we both talked about it. Like, it just didn't sit right, where we were like, we're spending so much money on one day. Like, that's almost a down payment on a home. That's like a place, like we could go travel with that money. Like, weddings are expensive. Weddings are expensive, and people know that. But until you get through the process of it, and depending on where you live and what you're doing for it, can greatly change the prices of the venues. But with COVID, everyone's been pushing back weddings and everything, and it's expensive. And honestly, I don't think it's worth it. Like, if you had dreamed about your wedding day forever and ever, then it might be worth it to you, and you have like a little bit extra of disposable budget, or your parents gifted you with a lot of money. But not that I never dreamed about my wedding day, but it was not something worth it to spend that much money on. So that's why we decided to do something much smaller. Garrett and I are gonna elope pretty much. We have a date. We actually hired a photographer. Her name is Madison Ashley Photography. I'll include her links and everything so you guys can go check her out. But we decided to elope, and it's just gonna be us two, and we're gonna use the money to travel. So I will let you know it's on the West Coast. So we're gonna kind of travel through the West Coast and do this whole like road trip kind of down the coast. Like we're gonna go to California. Obviously a lot of time will be spent there because it's very exciting. There's lots to do there, and Garrett's never been there. And when are we gonna get the chance to go travel like this? Like we're not gonna have the opportunity to do this very much or often, or if at all. So we decided to kind of go with that, and then we even will have money left over to go towards a home, which I've talked to you guys about. That is our goal, and that's why we're saving money with my parents, and we just don't want to waste money on an apartment, and that way we have more flexibility, blah, blah, blah. I've already talked about that. But we are going to elope, and kind of how I found it, I guess, is I was just like scrolling on Instagram and just kind of dreaming a little bit, and then I started finding like these elopements, like elopement photographers, and they were just beautiful, and photography was pretty much like the #1 thing I wanted at my wedding, like regardless of what we do, whether we go to a courthouse or just like elope like we are. Like photography was a really big thing for me because one, I have a terrible memory, so I want those pictures, and I don't know, I just really fell in love with like the elopement experience. It's just us two, like no pressure, like we can do our vows in front of each other. If we were gonna have a big wedding, a traditional wedding, then we would have done a first look and our vows together at the same time, just because it's like the two of us, like we both can get very awkward in front of people. So we both didn't want to do our vows like in front of everyone because it's just between us. And so then we're like, why are we doing this whole like venue thing when we can do this exact same thing, elope, and go to like a beautiful place and get like amazing pictures and just enjoy our time and do what we want to do and enjoy our day and kind of take that money for our own in a selfish way. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're gonna do. We're eloping, and it's gonna be so much fun, and I can't wait. I've been talking and planning out our honeymoon. We're actually gonna honeymoon for like 2 weeks, and it's just gonna be so much fun. So kind of to give you an update of where we are at in the process, we have hired a photographer, and we're actually talking to a couple like picnic rentals, because a lot of them do like these extravagant picnics where we could do like a little cake cutting, communion, or champagne, or whatever we want, and kind of just like have a moment to do that, because I think it would be really fun to still like do a cake cutting or that kind of thing. And a lot of them have like elopement packages that way. So we're actively talking to a couple people, and so kind of some of the next steps. I need to go wedding dress shopping, guys. I'm really looking for something like inexpensive, like as cheap as it can be, because I don't want like an extravagant ball gown with a long train. Like that's never been me. So something like simple with some lace and I don't know. So I need a wedding dress though, because yeah, need that. And then also I think around Valentine's Day, Garrett and I were gonna go shop for rings, which are so exciting, because Valentine's Day there's so many sales that are going on, so that way we kind of have that process taken care of. We both don't want anything extravagant, to be honest. Yeah, just we're keeping it simple, guys. And we're currently in the process of planning out our honeymoon. We're actually working with a travel agent because my dad's worked with her before, like through his company, through like a coworker's wife who does all of that. So she's kind of planning it. She gets us like better deals, and it's nothing out of our pocket extra for her to do it, and she gets all the rewards. So might as well. But I honestly love planning, so I would have done it anyway. But she's kind of helping us out a little bit. We're collaborating there, so it's just gonna be really fun I'm so excited, guys. I don't know if you could tell. Yeah, and I told you guys in a previous vlog that we've officially booked our Bachelorette weekend. We're actually going to Nashville for that, super basic, but I think it'll be really fun. I think it also will be a really fun trip for all my friends to come down and like vacation. Like I'm seeing it as a vacation for everyone, like a fun girls trip, and it's gonna be really fun. I'm excited. It's super basic place to go, but also Nashville's known for bachelorette parties, and there's a lot of things that you can do that are exciting, bachelorette things, bridal things, whatever. And my sister isn't 21, and so that was also kind of tricky as well, like trying to figure out, like, obviously I wanted my sister there, she's technically my maid of honor, but in Nashville there's just kind of a lot of restaurants. Some are bar restaurants, but you can still go into if you're not 21. That way she could still be with us, and then like maybe if we decide to go out to like a bar or something, like she'll have the flexibility to just hang out, but she'll be able to be with us the majority of the day, which is really important to me. So that's kind of my recap. We're going to elope on the West Coast and have a full honeymoon and travel and use that money kind of for ourselves and to go adventure, because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to do this. So we're really excited for that. So now I'm gonna get into a couple of your guys' questions, and I'm sure one of them is actually going to be, what do our parents think about it? And to be honest, they love the idea, especially my parents, because they actually eloped in Hawaii. They did bring their parents to that, but they're just excited for us to do something that we really want to do, and that's going to be a fun experience for us. So they're excited about it, and a lot of our family members completely understand, because we would have been way over budget / wouldn't even have a budget for a honeymoon if we went to a venue and did a traditional wedding, which I didn't like, because I want to travel. I have this strong desire to travel, which I'm so excited to in the future once we kind of get a little more settled, and I want to travel, guys. I love traveling and exploring new places, so this is just something really, really exciting. All right, so these questions are all over the place. I have my list here, but someone asked if we'll ever create a couples YouTube or TikTok, and no. To be completely honest, I don't see that happening. I am definitely more of an outgoing personality, even though I'm technically an introvert, but this is just not Garrett's cup of tea, and he gets so awkward in front of the camera, which is completely fine. Like that's why it's a channel just for myself, but he's done a couple TikToks with me, but nothing too crazy, but it's just definitely like not what he's most comfortable with, and I'm not going to force him to do that, obviously, or shove that in his face. And then someone asked if we will move out as soon as we get married, and at the moment, no, that is not our plan. We kind of budgeted for this year, and we're hoping a little bit later on in the year to move out, but it also depends on what homes and condos like become available to us and how the market is. We have the opportunity to kind of wait it out and wait for a good opportunity for us. So we are not planning at the moment. If it happens, it happens, and that's a great transition, but I just did not want to plan this wedding and try to find a place for us all at the same time, and it just felt so rushed. My anxiety, like even just thinking about that, I don't like it. So no, not our plan at the moment. Things could change, so we shall see. Will you vlog the honeymoon, wedding, or bachelorette? I plan to. We are not having a videographer for our elopement, but I think what we're kind of gonna do is set up like our phone or even my vlog camera to just kind of get the vows or the first look, because that's kind of what I want. Videographers are extremely expensive. So that's kind of what we're thinking, and I'll obviously post that like on YouTube, but nothing like an extravagant wedding video. But I also do plan on kind of vlogging the bachelorette weekend and some of our honeymoon, because we are going to go to really cool places, and that's why I love vlogging. That way I can look back and see those memories. But I think it'll be more like I'll get a bunch of clips and do like a voiceover rather than like a full-on vlog, if that makes sense. We still get to experience it, and I don't want to be like vlogging the entire trip. It'll just be probably like an overview or a couple days or something. So someone asked if it was easy choosing a theme or a style for a wedding. So before we decided to elope, I was like full on like trying to figure out what my theme and my desire was for our wedding. And personally, it was kind of easy for myself because I know I'm like more of the minimalistic style and theme, like just kind of candles and some maybe like eucalyptus or something very, very simple, not extravagant at all. So that was kind of easy for me. Some of it was kind of hard, like thinking about like the bridesmaid dresses, and I was going to probably do a theme for the attire for the wedding just to keep it a little more like neutral, if that makes sense. But I kind of want to do like a full video like planning a make-believe wedding, because I think that would be really fun, like because I have all these ideas and I have like this Pinterest board. So I'm not sure if you guys would want to see that, but let me know if you would, and I could do like a whole like dream with me if I had a wedding, here's what I would do type thing. I actually got a couple questions if we were gonna get a dog. We both want a dog 100%. We both are thinking once we move into a home or a condo to have a dog somewhat shortly after that, once we kind of get settled. But to be honest, I think we might get another cat before that, or slash like right when we move in, because Garrett and I have talked about like Archie, our kitten, gets to go upstairs and play with my parents' cats, and he just loves playing with them, and I just feel so bad if he doesn't have another cat to play with. Call me crazy, but we might get another cat before that. I want like a really fluffy cat. I don't know, I think it would be so cute to have him get a little sister. But we do plan on getting more animals for sure, and a dog probably shortly after, or start seriously looking once we move into a new place. And some other questions just kind of included like how Garrett and I met and how I knew, or when I knew that he was like the one. So Garrett and I met in college. We both went to Gordon College, which is a small liberal arts Christian school in Massachusetts on the North Shore. Beautiful school. And we met, what was it, sophomore year, at the end of sophomore year, like spring break time. And to be honest, he slid into my Snapchat, basically DMs. He like responded to something. I had just had a knee surgery, and I don't know what I was doing, but I just had a knee surgery, and I took this video for Snapchat of me trying to like shoot a water bottle into a recycling bin, and I completely missed the recycling bin, hit this cup of water that completely poured over, and I just started dying laughing. And he responded, I can't remember his exact response, I'm sure I have like a screenshot of it somewhere, but basically he said like, aren't you a basketball player, or something like stupid and cheesy like that. And I don't know, I just responded, and then he started asking like about how my knee surgery was, because like it's a small school, so obviously like he kind of knew that, and we just like slowly started talking, and it was so natural and easy. And which I've kind of been in other relationships or talking to people, and it's just not easy. And if it's not easy, especially right off the bat, then it's not worth it. Yeah, we just like slowly started talking, and it was kind of weird. Like he didn't ask me to be his girlfriend until like a couple months after talking, and I didn't even like think about him like being like, oh, like when is he gonna ask me to be his girlfriend? Like I felt like I was anyway, and he made me feel that way, where I didn't feel like insecure, where I was like, oh, is he gonna ask her, blah blah blah, like, or even when he was gonna propose, like all this stuff, like it was just easy. And I guess like when I knew was when I started to not freak out about future things. Like I would like bawl my eyes out and like freak out like when like the thought of like people meeting my parents or getting engaged, like that would just stress me out. I'm like, I am not ready for that. Like, and obviously I wasn't in the right like relationships or talking to the right people. But after I met Garrett and like met his parents and everything, like I started to see more of his personality, understand him a lot more, and that's kind of when I knew, I guess. So, and I also, I know so many people say this, but I swear it happens when you're not expecting it whatsoever. I was like, right before I was talking to Garrett, I was talking to this other guy, and it was just a terrible relationship. Let me just say that. Absolutely terrible, manipulative, really, really bad. And I was like, guys, I'm writing off guys forever. And not even a couple months later when Garrett messaged me, and here we are now. But I hope that answered a lot of your guys' questions with our wedding and what the heck we're doing, because we've been engaged for, it'll be close to like a year and a half. Is it a year and a half? Yeah, a year and a half before we get married. Almost 2. Yeah. So anyway, I hope I answered a bunch of your guys' questions, and if you have any more, feel free to comment them down below. And also, I got a DM from someone asking if I had my wedding registry, which I guess I'll link down below for you guys as well, but just throw that out there. But that was like very kind and generous, not expecting anything whatsoever. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more, and especially if you want to see elopement videos and honeymoon and bachelorette and all that. And I'm probably going to do more videos talking about how to plan an elopement and a honeymoon, the style that we're doing, because we're not just staying at a resort the entire time. So here we are. So I hope you guys enjoyed, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.